one of the things that we really, I don't want to say worked on, it's come naturally, but one of the things when I started this business, I didn't want to have a business where I was working with people I didn't like. So my first employee was one of my best friends from high school growing up, and he's a retired school teacher, and he jumps on board, and he does not mess around. I mean, he's in at 6 o'clock every morning, and he's hustling. I mean, he gets at it hard, and he's pretty intense when it comes to delivering dumpsters. So was I. I mean, we weren't going to let anything slow us down or get in our way, and we get on it. And then that culture has just grown to where, you know, I hired his son, Cam, to manage the operations here. He started off as a driver, and he's a hustler, and he's on it. And we just don't, the thing that we do is we just don't make excuses as to why we can't get stuff done. Everybody on this team truly finds a way to get it done first, and then we gripe at each other later or try to fix things later. But I hope that during these videos we can somehow show the effort that we put in to make sure our dumpsters are delivered to our customers. And our customer, I know it's a lot of lip service from people, but our customers really do come first. Everything we do, if I didn't have repeat customers in this business, we would flounder so bad. So our customers do come first, and no matter when they call in for, you know, a switch out, or hey, I forgot to tell you I needed one, or whatever it may be, especially the repeat customers, man, we jump all over it. But that culture has filtered down to everybody here. I mean, if you come into our yard at 6 a.m. and you're going to find 3 cars down there, if not 5. We like to start early. We like to get dumpsters out there. Of course, it's cooler in the morning, so that's nice. Transfer station isn't quite as filled. There's not quite as many people on the road. But for the guys, you know, and gals, you're just able to get more stuff done when the earlier you start in the morning. So it's always been kind of our goal is to deliver as soon as we can, because trust me, I'm the one who gets the phone call saying, "Where's my dumpster? Where's my dumpster? Where's my dumpster?" And you know, we don't want to disappoint on that. We want you to have that dumpster as early as possible. And the team knows that, and they really help out. The first piece of advice I give to anybody starting out is you got to put the money into marketing. You have to market and believe in what you're doing. But if you want to skimp on marketing, you're going to have some real issues. When it comes to dumpsters, what separates you from your competition? I mean, when it comes to quality of a dumpster, all dumpsters are really, if you get a 14-yard dumpster, there's not very many people who care what that dumpster looks like or how that dumpster performs. As long as it gets 14 cubic yards of material in it, and you pick it up when you say you're going to pick it up, and you drop it off when you say you're going to drop it off, there's no quality in a dumpster. So what do you do that separates you from your competition? Pricing is really the only thing that comes into effect, and that's all. I'm not going to say it's all that people look at, but I can guarantee you it's the first thing they look at is the price. What's the price of your dumpsters? Every time I get a phone call, I was checking you out online. You guys got pretty good pricing. Yeah, we know. We know. But you wouldn't check me out online if I didn't market to you, if I wasn't out there, if we weren't pushing it. So the first thing I tell people, tell anybody who wants to get into this business, don't skimp on marketing. Reviews, man, we push the reviews harder than anybody out there, because reviews to us are better than, I mean, they are money. That's a currency for us, because there's nobody these days that's purchasing without looking at reviews. I mean, you get some older people, you get some boomers like me that will, but most people who are ordering dumpsters for us, the first thing they're doing is jumping online, and they're looking at the reviews. They're going to look at prices, and they're going to look at reviews, and then they're going to make their decision. But if you have the reviews, you can get away with higher pricing. You can outprice your competition, and if you have the reviews, people these days will take the reviews over the cheaper price. But you got to get the reviews, so you got to get the business. Once you're in place, once you bought your equipment, once you establish, you know, your relationship with the transfer facility or the landfill, once all that's done, in order to be successful, in order to run trucks, in order to have to make that decision whether you're hiring more people, you have to advertise. You have to get out there. You have to get your name out there. You have to get your brand out there. So one of the tips I'd give you is you're starting a business off. We talked on some of our YouTube segments before about, a side hustle. And can this really be a side hustle? I feel like it could be partially depending on how many dumpsters that you want to grow with. If you want the business to grow though, and you have to pay yourself or you have to rely on that revenue, you're going to have a little bit of an issue. We made decisions for our company, based on the positive aspects. If we do this, how is it positively going to affect the company? We didn't have to worry about any of the negative connotations because we had good revenue coming in because I wasn't paying myself. Then we were able to buy better equipment, to spend more money on advertising. And then when the revenue started, when the profit started, it just worked out better for us because it just multiplies a lot faster. I would strongly suggest if you're going into this business, I would never call it, a side hustle, but I would certainly, as I'm looking at it, say, I know that I can't count on for the first 6 months, first 8 months, first 9 months, I count on it, making me a lot of revenue. It's not going to do that. When I first started, man, I would lose sleep over where all my dumpsters were. I was trying to go back and look and write down where they were and who had them and for how long and all that. It was just crazy trying to keep up with it. Who owed us money? Route management is one of the things that, a good software company can really help you on your route management. Keep track of, your hours too. Keep track of your time on site so you can be more proficient in what you do and how you're doing it. We want to grow with our customers. We want to find new customers, find people who are wanting to get in the business. We're going to offer a price that's competitive to get into the business, that doesn't break a new person, a new guy, a new dreamer, basically. Somebody wants to start their own business and they look at the prices out there on software systems and say it's just too much. I can't do it. Our goal basically is to be something that you can't go without. You can't go without Ben Boss. You can't start your business without us. That's the goal right there. I don't want to minimize it, but we feel like dumpsters are pretty easy. There's just a lot of software that does too many things, and we're trying to keep it somewhat simple. I mean, of all the functions out there, we probably use 15, and some of them are really nice, and some of them are kind of difficult to manage. Last night I spent, I don't know, 45 minutes, 50 minutes doing all the billing for the overages. We have to have overages. And there's just got to be a simpler way, right? Like the way that we're coming up with, the way that we're going to utilize that makes it a hell of a lot easier for a business owner at the end of the day to figure out what his overages are. And that may not be important to everybody because some people aren't charging overages. Some people just getting started in the business think that's not a big deal to me. After you spend a couple hours a week trying to get caught up, and then you're in there punching in all the numbers yourself, looking up information that should really be in front of you, that's a big deal for you right there. Reaching out to clients, man, reaching out and getting names and numbers. The system needs to be easy. So if I need to contact you because you have an overage, or because we need to move a date, or because a lot of times, man, we want to move dumpsters up a day. We're like, hey, we're done early on a Friday. As I said, our guys start early. If they get done early on a Friday, they want to drop off dumpsters on a Friday and not a Saturday, so they can have the weekend off. So they'll call, and it needs to be easy to reach that customer, whether it's a call or a text. So those are some of the things that we want to make a little bit simpler. If Bin Boss were a truck, it'd be like the base F-250 or Ram Tradesman or whatever you want to say. I mean, it gets in there, it gets the job done. It's not flashy, it's not fancy. It's what you need to get in and to basically run your dumpster company. If you just want to get in there and you get dirty and you do the jobs too, and you want something that's pretty simple and easy to use, and yet it can grow with you when you want, if you need to go hire drivers, they can manage those drivers. If you just want to manage yourself, Bin Boss will let you manage yourself too, but it makes it real easy and puts that control in the palm of your hand, whether that's an iPad or a phone. You know, our goal is to make it as simple as possible. And at the end of the day, not have a ton of work for that owner operator. We feel in order to grow your business, you need to be able to control your web page. Some software management lets you, others basically says you got to go with this web page platform in order to order from that software company. Bin Boss lets you do your own web page. However you want to do it, whatever you want it to look like, however you want to manage it. If you're driving dumpsters all day, you don't want to be picking up the phone and answering questions. You want people to order online. Our goal in building Bin Boss was to make it easier for your potential customers to order online. So at the end of the day, you look at it and you say, oh gosh, I had 7 orders come in and 3 of them for tomorrow. I'm gonna have to manage that. That's the goal. Obviously with anything new, it's gonna take a little bit of time to get it set up, and you're gonna have to put a little time and effort into getting it tuned in to the way that you want it to actually run. But we feel like that's the advantage there. If you go with Bin Boss compared to the other people, we live it. We live it every day. I mean, you see me out here driving right now. We created it to be something that we wanted. Not too much, but enough that at the end of the day, as I'm wrapping up my business, I don't have to rack my brain thinking about what I forget. What didn't I do? Well, oh my gosh, hold on, I got to do this in the morning. It's all right there. It's all at your fingertips, you know. Put you in no panic mode.
So just right there in the dump, we had one of our customers who had a tractor that they were taking everything and smashing it down into the dumpster. It just solidifies everything in the bottom and it won't slide out at that point. So that's one thing that we always try and tell our customers. They don't always listen, but is to not pack everything down as tight as you can, especially with a tractor or anything like that, because that will end up happening. Unfortunately, when that does happen and we have to have the guys at the dump go ahead and pull everything out for us, it's a $250 cost. Now, since we've had this conversation before with a customer, it's kind of hard to where now, I mean, whose fault truly is it? We've told them a few times not to do that. We've been able to get around it before, but now after multiple warnings that happens. So at some point you kind of have to draw the line and say what's acceptable and what's not. So, I mean, that's all part of the business. You know, not everyone's gonna listen to you. They wanna get the job done as fast as they can. They want to fit as much as they possibly can in the dumpster, but it's all about being safe.
That situation isn't on the daily for us, but there's always something going on. What they did was, it's my understanding there's a building that's being like revamped or redone, and there's a lot of electronics in it, and those guys that we rented from, they're out of Texas. They've rented a couple of dumpsters from us. They found us on our webpage. Have been a good customer. But in this situation, what they did was, he said the electricians just started taking like a track hoe and mashing everything down. So then today, you know, we got the dumpster booked like yesterday. We show up quickly, which he is appreciative of, but then it was mashed down. So I had to call him and say, hey, let's, from now on, man, I understand you're trying to get the most out of your dumpster, but don't mash it down. I told him it takes a lot of time in the transfer facility. And once you spend all that time in the transfer facility, you know, they start getting upset with us because we're holding up spots. That relationship with the transfer facility is more important than any relationship we have out there. So we don't want them upset with us. So anyways, after Cam told me about the issue, I called him and said, hey, we can't have that happen anymore. That kind of changed our whole relationship if that's going to continue to happen. So he assured me that it wouldn't. And that was really just about it. It was just a simple phone call, explain the situation. And I think in most cases in business, when you explain your side and you try to understand their side, seek first to understand and then be understood, it really helps out. So that's how we resolved that situation.